Hello everyone, this is Lethal once again, and today I'm here to talk about Kullervo, which is the melee god, or also the invincible Overkill Frame because of his kit. So Kullervo is a melee frame that's mainly focused around heavy attacks, but you can use it and just do regular light attacks. That works as well. So let's get to it. Um, First of all, let's talk about his passive and abilities. So his passive is the fact that he has 75% heavy attack efficiency and 100% heavy attack speed. So that leans him towards being an heavy attack frame, as I said. Um, Especially the 75% heavy attack efficiency. It's fairly nice because, if you use an heavy attack, it will make it so it doesn't consume all of your combo, but only 1/4 of it. There's something to know that is that stat can be improved with other mods, but it's capped at 90%, so you can go above that threshold. Nowadays, it's a bit worse than it used to be because of Tenokai, but it's still a very decent passive overall. Then we have his first ability, which is Wrathful Advance. So what it does is that you teleport either to an enemy or to the field, depending on whether or not you hold the ability, and then you get a buff, which is a huge critical chance buff. It's a flat bonus, so without any mods, it says that I'm getting 200%, which means I will orange crit with every melee weapon in the game. It adds that value to your base critical chances, so that's very nice. Also, if you tap it, you do it directly on an enemy, and by doing so, you also perform an heavy melee attack. So it's fairly simple. I'll show you all of the abilities afterwards once I'm done talking about them. The second one is Recompense. So Kullervo surrounds himself with daggers that spins around you. Then they try to aim automatically towards enemies around you. For each enemy you hit, you either restore your health, or if you're already full health, you gain Overguard. But if there are no enemy available, the dag actually stabs you and makes you lose health. It's a very, very good ability. Something to note is that it also generates a combo counter when the dagger hits an enemy. It's very slight, but for example, it's very nice because by generating combo counter, that's also resets the depletion of it. So it's mostly useful for that. It doesn't generate combo counter fast enough to really matter outside of that. That ability, with or without the mod augment that I will talk about later, makes you invincible basically, because whenever your overguard breaks, you get a short invincibility, which is enough to cast that ability again. And while the daggers are spinning around you, you're invincible. So that plus the overguard break, you're basically always invulnerable as long as you pay attention. The third ability is incredible. That's Collective Curse. So what it does is that it links enemies in front of you in a huge cone that doesn't require line of sight, which is very, very good. And what happens is whenever you hit one of those enemies, the damages get spread to all of them. Something to note is that because Kullervo is a melee frame, it will also increase your combo counter for each enemy that's linked. So if you hit one enemy and it's linked to 3 enemies, you generate four combo counter instead of one. So that allows you to go like to the combo counter cap extremely fast, especially when it's used with his force ability, which is Storm of Foucault. That's the ability that I like the least about Kullervo, but it's still great. I'm not using Helminth on him. I could remove that one, to be honest, but it's still decently useful, and like his kid doesn't need anything, so I'm keeping it around. So what happens is that you summon a zones of daggers that rains from the sky. Those hit enemies, they do slash damages, so even at steel path levels, in combination with collective curse, they do like very decent damages. And each time it hits an enemy, it generates one combo counter. So if you use Storm of Echo plus collective curse, you generate like you go full combo counter in like a few seconds. That's very good for that. I'll be demonstrating how those work. So it's still pass enemy level, still pass enemies, so I'm not sure whether or not I'll kill, but yeah. So the one I can either hold it to teleport anywhere, I still get the buff, or do it on enemy and perform an heavy melee attack, as I said. The two is like the dagger spin and aims on enemies. Do a little bit of a slash procs and generate combo counters and stuff, so decent all around as well. The third ability will link all of the enemies, and whether when I hit one of them, for example here, it will get spread. I think, yeah, because it's a multi-hit move, it didn't properly work, but you get the idea. Before the release of Saito 9, Kullervo was a really good, and still is, to be honest, sniper frame because of that, because like if I get my sniper out, I link all of the enemies and I headshot one of them. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I need to ramp up my combo counter. Wait, yeah, let me summon back everyone, and it should like be a bit better. Yeah, so if I like headshot one of them, it will get spread and almost kill everyone, and that's without like having everything, like all the galvanized mode and everything charged up. So yeah, it works well to clear enemies with a single hit, basically. And then the force ability, as I said, you summon a zone that makes daggers rain on enemies. It generates a lot of combo counter, especially if you use collective curse. The damages are like decent. I'm not using any mod, so like it's not killing, but yeah, that's alright. And so that's basically his abilities. I'll still be talking about the mod augments. So I don't use Wrath of Echo anymore. So what it does is that your fourth ability follows you and gets some duration back whenever you use your one. It's some quality of life, it's alright. It's like, yeah. Kullervo has like a few mod slots that are like, you can put whatever you want, so it used to be something that I ran, but nowadays I use the other one that's very broken, so it's volatile recompense. And basically what it does is that whenever I press my 2, instead of having my dagger swirl and like aim on enemies, no, they stay. And still like aim on enemies and stuff, but because like it becomes a duration ability that constantly generates overguard, I'm basically invincible. Let me demonstrate that. I'll be using my general build and talk about it afterwards. But what happens is that, let's say I use like those heavy gunners, I don't pose the AI, I use my 2 and just FK between them. So yeah, even though like I'm being hurt by everything, I don't know why I died actually right now. Probably because of the multi-hits. That's a very bad example then. But I guess that's because of the Eximus. Let me just summon regular heavy gunners. I think it's the Jade Eximus that got me actually. Yeah. So if I were to do that, As you can see, like, I mean, they don't do enough damage because they are constantly staggered, but yeah, the idea is that you're basically immortal while that's active, so you just have to refresh it every like 25 seconds or so. Um, Next up, what do we have? Let's talk about my mod setup, my stats, and what I'm running in terms of shards and arcanes. So I'm using 5 violent arcane shards, which makes it so my critical damage are boosted by 250%. That's like having 2.5 organ shatter equipped to your melee weapon. So that's just fun. I'm not. There's probably better option to run than that, and it's not needed at all. It's very overkill, but that's what I like to run. So when it comes to the build, so I'm using almost max range build. Um, the reason why is that all of your abilities like very much like range, so you can teleport further. Your daggers aims further away, which means you're like less likely to die. Um, your collective curse gets bigger, so like you get a whole room in a single cast. And yes, Tomorrow gets bigger as well, but matters less, I guess. So I'm almost full range, and I'm not really using the other stats. So duration, I'm slightly above um, the 100% because like I don't want to be negative because of like the Wrathful Audience buff and recompense duration and stuff like that. But I don't really need much more than that. Efficiency is nothing that I care about because I'm using both Prime Flow to turn on my purple Archon Shard and Equilibrium to restore my energy. Um, I don't need any efficiency. I'm not spamming that much. And strength. Actually, strength is important. It's not that needed. So what you can do with strength is go like to very absurd amounts of it to get like a very high critical buff. But like I'm already at 300% at my current strength, which is like red crits. I don't need to go much further than that. But if you want to have bigger numbers, sure, go ahead. That's fine. The interesting and important thing is that so with my Molt Augmented that's fully stacked, I'm over 200 strength, which means that Collective Curse will redirect 100% of all of the damage the target takes, which is like the cap. So it's fairly nice to reach that threshold, but other than that, you don't need like much more strength. So in terms of arcanes, I'm using like Molt Augmented because it works well. I could use like something like Arcana Energize and put a strength mod in Equilibrium instead of Equilibrium. That you do what you want with that, for example, but that's what I like to run. And I'm using Arcane Truculence, which applies max stacks of viral whenever I generate 3,000 overboard, which goes very fast with recompense. And because like I'm constantly taking damages and then building some backup, I don't get stuck like some other frames. So you proc Truculence fairly often, and so like the max viral stacks makes it so you do much more damages, but you can put whatever you want. Like Kullervo is very you just build him like you want and it will work. Sorry, I was drinking. So that's basically my setup. Um as I said, Kullervo is very nice with like a sniper if you want to. You're not forced in the slightest, but I really like that new sniper, so that gives me an excuse to use it. As well as a heavy build melee weapon, so I'm using something that I built specifically for that, for Kullervo, which is a ceramic heavy dagger, but you can run whatever. I'm used to run, for example, my Okina Prime, which is just a regular melee influence build. That Riven is just a better quickening, so you don't really care about it. So let's get to demonstration, I guess. Let's leave and go. I'll go as per usual to Titan in Steel Path, just so I can just do 5 minutes of survival, one shot an acolyte, and that will be all that there is to show. Solo, Steel Path, Titan. Let's go survival. And we'll kill some stuff. I really like Kullervo, that's like my third most played frame. I first played Loki, then Wukong, and then went for Kullervo as the years passed, but yeah, it's very nice. So let's start building some combo counter. Okay, so no, I'm going to... Maybe I should stack my... Could stack my sniper, actually. But just to show that it works well. If I can aim. Also, it works well with snipers because like that allows you to build up your sniper combo counter faster as well. That's always nice. So yeah, I'm just going to do like the regular Kullervo thing, which is like use the curse, press your wand, kill the room, and rinse and repeat. And that's what I do most of the time whenever I play him. It's just fun to use a single melee attack to like... Oh, I don't have any energy. To just like clear a whole room of enemies. Okay, I'm back up on energy, so I should be alright. Wasn't drinking much stuff, so that's why. That ceramic dagger is mostly built for heavy attack, so it doesn't work that well on regular attack, but it's alright enough, I guess. Sometimes I won't kill from the first hit, but there is a force slash proc afterwards that will almost always kill. So yeah, I hope that the acolyte can spawn so I can show you how well it performs on like very tank enemies. That's the frame that I use whenever I'm... Well, not always, but that I often use whenever I do disruption, so I can kill the... like the... I don't remember what they're called, like the beeping targets. Yeah, there is no struggle killing anything. I just need to like basically refresh my buffs from time to time, make sure to use Collective Curse. It's a bit... it consumes a bit of energy to do so, so I still have to be fairly... like, not use it too badly, but it's okay usually. Especially as the missions ramp up and I get to see more Eximus units because I'm running Equilibrium. I need to see globes. I guess I could run Sentinel for that. That would like solve any issue that I might encounter. I use energy pads for the time being. That works decently. it really works well. Like, you clear rooms without like any issue. Let me use my... oh, I don't have any energy left again. Come on. Let me just kill stuff. Oh, okay. So, the acolyte is coming. I'll show what I wanted to do afterwards. I've been like very much not preserving my energy, so see, I just one-shot it as soon as it appears on my screen. That's very, very fun. That's why I like that frame that much. But yeah, usually I use my Okina Prime with melee influence because like that allows me to rely less on my 1 and my third ability, and I can just like move forward and maintain the buffs and press one and press melee and kill everything basically. So let me do that, and yeah, that still melts enemies even at a steel path level, while generating a lot of combo counter, which is very nice. So yeah, I wanted to show off my ceramic daggers, my ceramic dagger, because it does like insane amounts of damage on a single enemy, which is like the point of Kullervo. But I would still advise you to run like just a regular weapon, and because of how Kullervo works and like how insane your buff are, you will do like very good damages even on heavy attacks, even if you don't have like all of the mods for it or anything. So yeah, let's just go to extraction. Didn't even break a sweat in that mission. That's why I like that frame. It's like you don't press that many buttons. It works well. You're invincible, minus the the bad example that I gave in the simulacrum. But you can just focus on talking with your friends while your frame plays the game by itself, basically. Which is why it became one of my favorite frames to chill. Because like I really like some more spammy stuff like Protea, for example, but my fingers get tired after sometimes. Let me just verify how much I've played. Yeah, as I was saying, it's my third most played frame, so I really like the guy. Anyway, as per usual, thank you everyone for watching that video. If you have any question, any suggestion, or anything you would like to say, feel free to comment down below. Follow, like, and see you in the next video. That will probably be Ariel, by the way. I'm very, very hyped about him since he seems to be a similar frame, and that's what I like the most, as I was saying in my Caliban video. Anyway, see ya all. Bye.